is the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast.
Hello, friends. Welcome to another weekly installment of the Celebrity Afterlife Report, the only show on the internet that gives you the up-to-the-minute gossip about all your favorite deceased celebs. I'm your host, the Celebrity Medium. We cover a lot of stories here on the report, and as with any gossip show, a lot of it is funny or bizarre, but our main story this week is of a very different nature. Frankly, it's unlike any other story I've ever reported on. After I tell you about that, I promise we'll move on to some more lighthearted fare. Well, the you-know-what seems to be hitting the fan in Trump City, the whites-only community presided over by Fred Trump, father of the new American president. According to the reports I'm getting from my sources in the next world, it seems that megalomania runs in the Trump family. To put it nicely, Fred Trump is seriously losing his cool. As I reported a few weeks back, Trump Sr. seemed to be basking in the reflected glow of his son's electoral win. He had large banners with Donald's face on them put on nearly every building in Trump City. He even rode in an open-top convertible waving to the crowd in what some described as a pseudo-inaugural parade, as if he had just won the American presidency. Well, things have only gotten stranger since then. My sources tell me that word coming out of Trump City is that Fred has begun to issue daily decrees regulating the behavior of the residents of the town. Now, just in the past few days, he has imposed a mandatory midnight curfew, as well as a strict dress code for all who live there. We don't know what people inside the walled and gated community think about all this, because communications between Trump City and the rest of the afterlife have been cut off. Now, some relatives of Trump City residents have set up a vigil outside the walls of the town. Included in that crowd is Magda Gabor, the older sister of actresses Ava and Zsa Gabor, who both live in Trump City. Now, in recent days, Ava and Zsa have professed support for Mayor Trump, but that was before the town was closed off to outsiders. Now, Magda has begged Fred Trump through the press to please let her inside Trump City so she can make sure her sisters are all right. Now, so far, however, there's been no response to her request, nor has anyone else been allowed to go inside the walls to check on their loved ones. There is a rumor making the rounds that Mayor Trump will be making a speech soon addressing the situation, I guess sometime in the next few days. I will, of course, be keeping a close eye on this story, and I will report the details of any new developments to you. Okay, let's move on to something less disturbing. Legendary actress Mary Tyler Moore, who of course recently transitioned to the next world, has been added to the cast of the upcoming sitcom that will star Florence Henderson and her former Brady Bunch husband, actor Robert Reed. The plot of the new show is about Reed having to pretend to be happily married to Henderson to fool his homophobic boss, played by Paul Lynde. Now, the storyline is a little meta in that both Reed and Lynde are actually gay. Now, the word I'm getting is that Mary will be playing Lynde's wife, who, not knowing that Reed's character is gay, has a crush on him. I gotta say, the plot sounds a little contrived to me, but sources who have seen test tapings of the show tell me that it's way better than you'd guess, and that the cast seems to be having a great time working on it. According to the producers, the plan is to have other actors famous from Earthly Plane TV shows drop in occasionally for one-shot appearances, or more if their characters go over with the audience. There is a rumor currently making the rounds that Peter Falk, famous for playing Detective Columbo, may be turning up in one of the early episodes. No air date for the first episode or even a title for the show have been decided on yet. As I reported a few weeks back, Carrie Fisher and her mother Debbie Reynolds are co-hosting a new daytime TV talk show called The Girls. The show is reportedly pretty similar to The View, with the two of them discussing current events and other things, with a rotating selection of other women joining them. Now, one of my sources was in the audience for the very first aired episode of the show. He tells me that, especially for a first show, it went extremely well. He says the mother-daughter duo work very well together because they have a natural chemistry and because they're just both very funny. The guest host for that taping was Joan Rivers, and Rivers apparently spent much of the time making jokes about her own passing because of botched plastic surgery, with the audience reportedly doubled over with shocked laughter as Rivers made fun of herself. My source says he can't remember the last time he laughed as hard as he did at that show. So based on that report, I'd say the girls may well have a long run on Afterlife TV. Okay, just now, I was handed some updated information about the situation inside the walls of Trump City. Okay, word is that Fred Trump has ordered the citizens of his whites-only community to shelter in place in the apparent belief that the town is about to be attacked. Exactly who he thinks is going to attack it is unknown, and my source on this story tells me that there is nothing of the kind happening right now, nor is there any plan to attack Trump City underway to the best of his knowledge. And of course, this could all be a rumor because no one's being allowed inside or out of the town. No one can go in, no one can come out. A crowd has formed outside the main entrance to Trump City, composed mostly of relatives and friends of people who are locked inside the walls. They are understandably concerned, as you would expect, about the safety of the people inside. Now, to me, and apparently to the people gathered outside, Fred Trump sounds paranoid. And as you'd expect, there's a lot of rumors about what might be going on inside the gated community circulating right now. None of them confirmed at this point. Now, Magda Gabor, whose sisters, actresses Ava and Zsa are Trump City residents, from what I'm being told, she is part of the crowd outside the gate to the town. And she has been talking through a megaphone imploring Mayor Trump to just let the crowd know what's happening. But last I've heard, there's been no response from Trump or anyone else inside what I can only describe as a compound at this point. I have to say there is no evidence that anyone inside Trump City is being harmed, but I'm sure you can understand the fears of their loved ones. There's a lot of rumors flying around, and nobody really knows exactly what's going on. This situation is getting stranger by the moment, and I promise to stay on top of it, and I'll post an update if anything happens. And on that unusual note, that's it for the report for another week, or until I have an update about the Trump City situation. Please check back periodically to stay on top of this developing story. Please tell your friends the report can be found on iTunes, in the Google Play Store, and on KCHUNG 1630 AM on your radio dial if you are in Los Angeles. Until we meet again, I am the Celebrity Medium. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Celebrity Afterlife Report podcast. To ask a question about your favorite deceased celebrity, call 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-3-MY-DREAM. 818-369-3732.